Okay, here's a here's a question from a member in Philadelphia. Yes, do you know if there are any grants for writing a book in Pennsylvania? Well, publishing industry is just so different than when I started. I mean, 20, 30 years ago, I was writing books for people in New York and publishing myself or whatever, and it's not like that anymore. But I mean, parts of it is, but the parts that's growing is not like that. I mean, we don't have bookstores anymore. That's how I used to sell books, and now I don't at all. But if you're interested in that old school of selling a book or making a book, that's where you got grants. Grants came from publishers. These big people, Penguin is one I used, and Ballantine, and a whole bunch of books. Big publishers, that's what they do. They give a grant for your idea about a book. And I make a lot of money just on the grant they give me. And then when the book was published, depending on how many books were sold, if I'd get more money or not. Maybe I didn't even use up all the money, because the grant was like an advancement towards royalties when the book got in the bookstore. But the book didn't get in the bookstore until about a year later. So that's how things work. But things are different now. And actually, if you're looking to write a book and you want to do it the old school way, go to the library or online. There's something called Literary Marketplace, LITERARYMARKETPLACE.com. That's where the main source about writing traditional books, and they show you how to get agents and all this kind of stuff. And that's where you have to hire some consultants going to take 5, 10, 15% of what you get and sell it to some big publisher. But there's other ways to do that. There's 2 websites that I have interviews with on our service. I'll show you the links on that you could get. There's one of these organizations is called Incubate, INKUBATE.com. And what they do is take young writers like that and help you find money. Because publishers are coming to the website, and looking for ideas, or they show you how to publish it yourself. The other one is PubSlush.com, PubSlush.com. And we have, I've interviewed both of these owners of the sites, and they explain it very well, very honest people, and not nice folks to deal with. But also it's a way to learn the current publishing industry, because they're almost becoming clearinghouses for big publishers and agents to look for ideas. So it's a way to just put up a paragraph or 2 of the book, or 1 chapter or something like that, and start the process from there. So look at that. But what I see a lot of people doing now is not even messing with all those people and just going to the public to look for money. And you could do that with crowdfunding. That's a grant. People will give you money in crowdfunding sites to write your book before you get it, and then when you get it, you give it to them. So isn't that great? Because now you know if it's going to sell. Before, I used to spend a year writing a book, and then I'd put out, and then maybe it'd sell. This way, by doing on crowdfunding, you say, hey, and it costs nothing to do this, because crowdfunding platforms are free. You just tell about the book or whatever, I'm going to do this, and if enough people are interested, and they send me 20, 30 bucks a piece to let me write the book, then I'm going to do it, and you'll get it when it's done. Honest, don't worry. People are doing this all over. Now, we have about 30 interviews of people who've done that. So on our YouTube channel, you could see about 30 interviews, and we have a playlist. And that playlist is money for writers, journalists, and books. And there's about 33 interviews of people who use crowdfunding to get grants to write their book. Because what they're doing is they're giving you the money, but it's not a grant because you're going to give them the book. So you got to figure out, okay, what's it going to cost me to write the book and publish, whatever it is, 100 of them or 500 or 5,000, whatever it is, to have it. And so you ask for that money, whether it's 10,000, 20, 30. I mean, I'll show you interviews there. Hey, up to $70,000 that they got on crowdfunding after publishers in New York, the big shots, said, no way that this is even going to sell. proves them wrong. See, the experts don't know. We're all guessing. And people who sit in ivory towers or who are gatekeepers, they think they're so smart. Well, they're penning somebody else's money, so they got to be careful. But they don't know either. And that's why this is a way to get around all that kind of stuff. And go right to the people and see if that idea is sellable. Because now, that's why more books will be published now than ever before. We're creating more information now than ever before. When it was normal publishing, there was nothing coming out. Now it's everywhere. And now another place for money is your arts council. Every state has an arts council, and money is given to individual artists, and writers and things like that. That's federal money, state money, and they raise money as a nonprofit organization. And in Pennsylvania, it's arts, ARTS, .pa.gov. And you could see there, they give out thousands and thousands of grants every year, to organizations and individuals. And sometimes it goes to organizations, which in turn goes to individuals. So contact your state art council. Tell them you're a writer, you're looking for funding to write a book, and see what they'll direct you maybe to a local, nonprofit or arts agency in your area that has money from them to give to authors like you. So that's the only way you're going to know about it. So you can't Google this stuff and find it. That's the problem with Google. Either money for writers. You're going to get all these people want to sell you money or sell you books to how to get money. It's crazy. And then to me, don't forget that you can always do it yourself. It costs absolutely nothing. So if you spend $100, $200, that's going to be a lot of money. To get it done. Like here, you could go and put it on Kindle. Amazon, you could have your book on Amazon and not the biggest place in the world. It's the biggest bookstore in the world. You could be in the biggest bookstore in the world for next to nothing. Gosh, when I was doing this, to be in a big bookstore, the Barnes & Noble and stuff like that, man, it costs $100,000, $200,000, whatever. That's why I had to use publishers, and do all this stuff. But now, you and me and the squirrel behind the tree could write a book, go to KDP, Kindle DP, whatever that is, .amazon.com. That shows you how to do it. It costs you nothing. Okay, now, but you have to put it in a Kindle format. So this is not a paper book. This will be an electronic book, but that's how people are buying books now. Okay, electronic means. So that means you don't have to spend a whole lot of money having a garage full of books. It's all electronic. That's why, bookstores out of date, because, man, you can only keep about 30,000 books in a big bookstore. You go to Amazon, you got 5 million trillion books, and it costs the same as space because it's all electronic. So that's what's going on. So maybe if you don't even know how to do a Kindle, that doesn't matter. Go to a place called, I use this a lot, Fiverr, Fiverr.com. You could go there and get people for very cheap. I mean, most of the gigs are $5, but for $100, you could probably have that put in Kindle format, get a cover and everything, and be ready to go. So all you have to do is spend time writing. And it may be wise to do that, because then it becomes easier to sell, because now you have the book done, whatever, and you have a Kindle, you're on Amazon. Now you look for a publisher, and you could be selling it in the meantime yourself. So if they don't give you a good deal, man, doesn't matter. You're already published, right? That's what's so neat about the new internet economy. It's getting rid of all these fat cats who are in the middle and gatekeepers, man. And we could go out and learn it ourselves, easy. And these platforms, like Amazon Kindle platform, they make it easy. They've done all the hard work, and they have the crowds of people coming and look. Sure, you have to market, and sure, you have to sell it, but you have to do that with the publisher too. Same thing. That's why I used to spend my whole life, knocking on doors and trying to get on TV shows, whatever, to sell the books that the publisher made 95% of the money on. Now, I make 95% of the money on it. Ha ha ha.